So he lied, and now it's causing all kinds of problems. She's mad, I tell you. One of the things I have always said is being a hypocrite to me is like breaking the 11th commandment. I'm sure there were more commandments, but he could only get it so many on the tablet, so he put 10. But I'm sure the 11th would have been, don't be a hypocrite. Hypocrite means saying one thing, but doing the complete opposite. I've always tried to live my life where I do what I say. And it really drives me batty when people do the exact opposite. So as you know, Carolyn's son is having some problems with his other half. So he asked if he could stay here for a while. We're hoping that by wintertime, or maybe shortly after wintertime, no longer than a year. I think we're all kind of thinking a year's all he needs, including him. So we got him a camper, and he's staying in a camper. It's taken us a while to kind of get it to a level of comfort. I don't know if it's been a while. I think we had everything kind of in place within a month that he really needed, and then it got hot, so we put the air conditioner in there. And so I think he's got everything he needs. This winter may be a challenge. We've talked about this. We're going to get him a blue flame heater. Right now he's got a buddy heater, and that did pretty good when we were transitioning from the wintertime to early spring. But now that it's warm temperatures, I'm sure he's not using it at all. I wouldn't think he's using it. And I think he only used 2 tanks of propane, 2 20-pounders. Just a couple days after he got here, he got a job. He's worked every shift. He's worked extra shifts. He wants to get another job, hopefully sometime in August. We'll see how that goes. But hopefully in August he can get another job. Right now he's looking to get another car. This one's kind of not in good shape. And with it being such a long drive, that's another thing we have to consider. It's a long drive from here to the job he wants to get. It's a really nice job. Boy, I mean, just about anybody would like to have this job, I'm sure. So he's got to get a better car. If he got out there in the middle of the night, let's say it's a night shift, and broke down, he'd be stranded. The cell phone signals out there could be pretty spotty, so he would have to walk a good distance, and all the while being late for a shift, and he doesn't want to do that. So it'd be a good idea to get him a car first. So he's trying to save up money to get a car. Then we'll go get a better job, and then he'll go get an apartment eventually, hopefully next year. I think it's a pretty solid plan. But one of the things that I've tried to do is not make it where he has to live off-grid. Even though he's living off-grid, I don't want him to think that he is. That's not been entirely possible, obviously. He's limited on the amount of electric he can have. We only have so much. Now, I know people said hook up to the grid and hook up to electric and have him buy electric and all this other stuff, and we just can't figure out why that's financially feasible when we have free electric. We've got it now where he can run the air conditioner off solar panels on bright sunny days and just a little bit on cloudy days. So again, I'm not really seeing the benefits of having him hooked up to the grid. I mean, let's assume that it's $40 a month just to be hooked up. And then, so he's paying $40 a month, but let's say he only uses $5 worth of electric. Is it really worth $40 for $5 worth of electric? He doesn't have that much equipment. He's got the TV, he's got an Xbox that he's watching movies on from the library, he's got the air conditioner, and that's it. So we're refrigerating and freezing the foods that he needs. Now, there is some inconveniences to that, I agree. And I feel bad about it, but I just can't figure out how to hook him up to a refrigerator, an air conditioner. The biggest problem with the refrigerator is it has to run through the night. And we're on battery power at night. If it was during the day, he'd be fine. Obviously, he'd be fine because we're running the air conditioner throughout the day. We ran the air conditioner for 2 hours, but that's when he asked for it. I think he asked for it maybe at, 2 o'clock or so. So we got him hooked up. He ran it for 2 hours. And then it started clouding up and cooling off. It was getting ready to rain, actually. Maybe it did rain that day. So it was cooling off, so he shut it off. So for those 2 hours, we had good sun, good electric, and we ran it totally off solar. Later that evening, well, I guess about 8:30 that night, I went down and checked the charge of the batteries, and the batteries were fully charged. So we did not pull anything from the batteries while we were running his air conditioner. Our freezer was kicking on. We didn't change our habits. I got my little tablet. I was editing a video. And so that was hooked up. It doesn't use a lot of electric, but all the electric and we weren't affected by it, so that was really good news. Now, laundry is been a bit of an issue. I don't know if it's an issue. He's mentioned it. So to me, that's overwhelmingly a big issue. We got to fix it, how we're going to resolve it. And I don't know if we can resolve it. He said that he doesn't want to live this way, off grid for the rest of his life. For example, he doesn't want to do laundry by hand, in a bucket with a plunger. He doesn't want to do that. Well, that's understandable. Most people wouldn't. I don't like doing it. Carolyn does. She enjoys doing it by hand, if something happened to Carolyn, I probably would continue to do it by hand because there just isn't that much laundry. But with him working all the time and, got to come in with a new clean outfit all the time, I can wear my sweatshirt for several days. It's like a coat to me. When it's cold, I can wear my sweatshirt. So, but with him, he's got to change that out. So it doesn't really matter if my sweatshirt has a stain on it. Nobody's going to know. Now, I know people are going to comment in the comment section, that's gross, you need to have clean clothes every day. I mean, I get it. There are people out there like that, and that's what I'm talking about hypocrites, and I'm going to get more into that. I would still continue to do laundry by hand, but if Carolyn wanted a wash machine, I would immediately go out and get one of these apartment-sized wash machines. I had one before, and they stand, I don't know, maybe stomach tall, and they're real narrow. They're about the size of this trash can, as a matter of fact, maybe a little taller, and they fit in the little apartment bathroom. And what you do is you hang the drain hose off the back of the toilet, and then you hook the water up to the sink, and it does the cycle, and the water drains into the back of the toilet, and then of course that flushes down into the bowl. And we could run that off the generator. So I've asked Carolyn many times, do you want one? She says, no. My question now is do we go buy him a wash machine since he doesn't want to do laundry? And we can't justify that. It doesn't make sense for us to buy a wash machine if he's not going to take it with him. If he goes to an apartment, he's going to have a full-size washer. Why would he take this little apartment size and have to do twice as much work in an apartment when he can just use his apartment washer? We probably won't do it, so that means he's going to have to continue to do it by hand, or he can do his laundry at a laundromat. Now, the problem with the laundromat is, again, it's in that town 30 miles away, so he's got to drive out there. So right now, that is an inconvenience. That being said, I think about regular people living in a regular life with a grid. A wash machine is very wasteful in my mind. It uses a lot of water unnecessarily. Carolyn can use 2 sinks of water, wash tubs, I showed you those wash tubs before, for the entire laundry day load. Whereas most people would have to fill that up 4 or 5 times, 6 times. It's very inefficient and use a lot of electric. So I was sitting around, maybe if somebody's washer broke down, you could do them by hand, do them in the tub or in a bucket. And I know a lot of my audience does. So I don't know if it's a big deal doing laundry. It's my psychology. It's my problem to bear. He's not complaining about having to do laundry by hand. Then we have the dryer. Of course, there's absolutely no way we can run a dryer. But I'm a big fan of just hanging them on the line anyways. Even if we had electric and a grid and a wash machine, I'd still say let's hang them up off the line because it's cheaper. I know in the summertime when I had all that stuff, we still hung the laundry out on the line. Carolyn will do laundry on rain days. It doesn't matter what day she does laundry. To her, she'll say, well, it dries eventually. So she does laundry when it's convenient to do laundry, and she doesn't worry about the rain. Most people say, I can't do laundry and hang it up because it's going to rain, or it freezes. Well, around here, it's not below freezing nonstop. You might get a few days where it's below freezing, but then it comes back up above freezing, and they still dry. We do laundry all year long and hang them out on the line all year long. So I don't see it being a big problem. Then we got him hooked up to the water finally, and that was a big deal. Now he's got a shower, an actual shower. He doesn't have to come up here, which I can imagine that was pretty inconvenient and uncomfortable. If you think about it, we live in a tiny house, so it's not like he just go into the bathroom and do a shower. We would actually have to leave the house, sit in the truck while he took a shower. So now he's got a shower in the camper, got that hooked up. The only inconvenience to that, and it has not been an inconvenience to anybody, we've not ran into this issue, is I don't think we could run the shower in the house and the shower in the camper at the same time. I don't think it would turn on the water heater for either one of them. But it's not been an issue. He's got a different schedule than we do, so I take a shower, I just text him, or Carolyn texts him actually. I let him know I'm taking a shower. Carolyn does the same thing when she's taking a shower, and we know his schedule because he always takes a shower right before he goes to work. We know when he's going to work, so it's just not a big deal. He's also got a bathtub down there, which is pretty convenient. I didn't think about this, but it's actually a good idea. Instead of running the air conditioner so much, why not take a cool shower or bath or whatever when you're hot before you go to work to cool off? Now that was thinking that I would not have thought of. I like a hot shower, to be honest. It doesn't matter what time of the year it is, I like a hot shower. But he's using his brains trying to figure out how to cool off without running the air conditioner on a cloudy day. Brilliant. So I'm very happy with his progress. He's holding up his end of the bargain, and he's not asking for a lot of stuff. I know yesterday, I think it was, I was wondering if he wanted an air conditioner. And I don't like to bother him. I let Carolyn do all the bothering. So I asked her, do you think he wants air conditioner? Well, he hadn't said anything. So she went down there and she said, no, it's pretty cool down there. He's got the fans going. So one of the things that bothers me is the comment section has been pretty harsh on him. And I've said this before, and it's quite frustrating how harsh they are. They have all these expectations that either we spoil him rotten or we work him like a dog. And I just don't see it either way. What we came up with, I think, is brilliant. Let's get him back on his feet. Let's get him to a job. Let's make sure he's somewhat comfortable. He knows the conditions in which we live. So he came here, he said, hey, can I have a TV and an Xbox and possibly an air conditioner? The air conditioner was a little bit stressful, don't get me wrong, especially when that other generator died. But now it has come down to, and it's almost a constant drumbeat, that they want him to learn how to live off grid. Because I keep saying, I'm not expecting him to learn how to start up a generator. That was one of the problems we had initially, was he doesn't understand the generator. It's a propane dual fuel generator. And he struggled to start it. He struggled. Everything around here has a quirk. Everything has a sequence. You start the generator, you plug in the generator, you wait until the water squirts out of the faucet, and then you switch over the hose to the other one, and you got to check to make sure the water's clean before you do that, because you don't want to contaminate your tank. And there's just a big sequence. I didn't see the point of him having to learn that. I showed him a couple times, and he's trying to understand. I thought, this is ridiculous. Let's just figure something else out, so he doesn't have to do that. Then the other one was this solar panel usage. When can we use the TV? And so to make that simple, so he didn't have to sit there and try to figure out, well, can I run it today? Is it too sunny? All that stuff. We just wrote down a schedule. Here's optimal times to run your TV. And we wrote it all down, and the air conditioner and all that kind of stuff. Wrote it all down. But then we thought we had the generator. So we said, if you want to run it at night, you got to run on a generator. Well, now we don't have the generator, so we had to redo that. And so what I decided is if he wants to do any of that, it's not a big deal. I can just go down and start the generator. It's not like he has to learn this. I just didn't see the point in him having to learn all this stuff and never have to use this information again. He's not interested in living off grid. And I don't blame him. That's my dream. And for some reason, people seem to think that my dream is everybody else's dream. And it's not. My audience may dream my dream. That makes sense. You come to watch my videos, but why? He's like, I don't get your videos, Rob. Okay, I'm totally cool with that. The other day, and what I did actually was I showed Carolyn how to shut off the generator. So I went down, I don't know, let's call it 7 p.m., started up the generator so he could continue to watch his TV. I showed Carolyn how to shut it off. She's never had to operate it before. I've always taken care of it. And I think that's kind of an important idea, is Carolyn know how to use this stuff. So let's show the person who would be the next in succession of having to use it instead of showing him. She goes to bed much later than I do, so before she went to bed, she snuck out of the house, not to wake me up, walked down the hill, shut off the generator, unplugged the battery charger, the whole thing, told him to shut off the TV, and it all worked out. But here's what I find so hypocritical, is these people tell me, it's that younger generation, they refuse to do anything. They weren't raised on how to do it this way. I was raised on how to live this way. No, actually, Carolyn, she didn't have air conditioning when he was growing up. She was very miserly. They didn't have a lot of stuff, I can guarantee it. I mean, she doesn't like having a lot of stuff now. Okay, she doesn't want a wash machine. Do you think she was a big fan of washing machines before she met me? No. He was raised this way. But when he got older, he realized, Mom, I know you like it that way, but I didn't. So thanks for showing me how to do it, but I'm going to do it my way and run an air conditioner. That makes sense. So I get these people saying, when I was younger, I was raised in an outhouse, we didn't have air conditioning, we didn't have a fan, and you know, and they tell me all these horror stories of how it was when they were younger. But now they're older. Could they do it now? That's the thing. And people will say, oh, of course I can do it now. Then do it. Instead of criticizing someone else for not doing it, then do it. Show me you can do it. Yeah, it's easy when your parents are holding your hand through growing up and showing you how to do these things, but do it on your own. Couldn't you start a generator? Can you figure out how to hook up batteries when you've never had to do it before? Probably not. You'd have to learn it all, and he's not interested. You may be interested, that's why you're watching these videos, but he's not. So it's hypocritical. Now, the other one I get all the time is, my mother lived that way. And they go into this big diatribe about how their parents did it this way or their grandparents did it this way. And so your son needs to learn how to do it. You didn't learn how to do it. Your parents did, but you didn't. So this is hypocritical. Remember the 11th commandment. It's a violation. The other one is I went over and visited my grandparents once and had to use their outhouse. That makes you an off-gridder, apparently. You did it one time. Before you start telling everybody else how to live their life as primitively as possible, you give it a try. I mean, I get in the comment section all the time. I just made a video about this yesterday. I can't live without air conditioning. Well, if you can't live without air conditioning, why are you expecting him to? So if you click this up next box, it will take you to that video where I was talking about air conditioning yesterday. So if I can inspire you to try it out so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.